Log of 10.
Log, log base what? I showed y'all. Y'all supposed to remember, look back in your notes.
10. 10. Got it.
Log base E.
I said E and
you
he looked
said
at me
E.
like,
That's
oh,
what we meant.
stupid. She did.
I think E's
I'll
a
take
towel.
this. You're right.
Sure, exactly. Oh, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah, I forgot. I pulled up everything. I always forget. There it comes. Hold on a second.
I have like 2 pieces of paper left. 2 pieces actually. Oh, you got them gross
Need my log.
because I don't have any paper. Do I have? But it's not in a thing.
Yeah, the history teacher pulled up the whiteboard. It took him 15 minutes to pull it up. Gosh.
It's flashed yet.
All right, y'all. There you go. So you can do it 2 different ways.
That's Spanish.
One is you can.
I use this for everything.
All right. Are y'all finished? Okay. One is you can deal with basically the LN. Or you can do log base E of 7x minus log 2 log base E of Z. Oh, Cody, are you there? Because I can't see nothing but the board.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now, what rule can you apply first with either one?
Quotient.
Not the quotient. That's you're going to use the quotient, yes, but not first. Why? Because what always comes first? Please excuse. What's excuse stand for? We went over this last week.
Exponent.
Exponent. An exponent has to do with which rule? Well, you've got a 33% chance. One's product rule, the other was quotient rule, which you already said. So that narrows it down to 2.
Power.
Power rule. Thank you. So here's the power rule. Take your handy dandy highlighter and highlight that coefficient right there. And what are you going to do with that coefficient?
Power.
Bring it up to the exponential. So take your handy dandy highlighter, take your handy dandy pencil, and you're going to bring that up here. Now, I really want to stress this problem because this is a lot, remember me telling you in calculus you're going to change the radical to a exponential? Well, in calculus you're going to get a lot of these logarithms and you're going to have to use the power rule a good bit. So make sure you know how to use the power rule. So the next line is going to be natural log of 7x minus natural log of z to the second, or log base e of 7x minus log base e of z to the second power. Now that I have the 2 up here, what are these? These are the same what? The same bases. If I have the same bases, I can use the quotient rule or the product rule. In this case, I'm going to use the quotient rule. So finish the problem out by using the quotient rule. The quotient rule says that if I have something I'm subtracting, I can rewrite it as what? Starts with a D. I. V. Huh? Division. Yes. So your final answer is the natural log of 7x over z squared. Now this is a very basic problem. This is a very basic problem on one of my tests. So please don't what? Don't screw it up. So make sure you can do this problem, because there'll be 2 or 3 like this on the test. Remember, 80% of your tests on logarithms is going to come from rewriting and equations. And we're doing rewriting right now.
If they ask a question like on the test, like C does, do they want the answer in the natural log or log? Does it matter?
Just use your general law of mathematics. If it starts with natural log, or if it starts with a decimal, or it starts with a fraction, it ends with a natural log, a decimal, or a fraction. So since this one started with natural log, it's going to end in natural log. So your answer would be the natural log of 7x over z squared. Is it mathematically wrong to write log base e? No. But what's easier to write, log base e or natural log?
Natural.
So that is in simplified form. So that's the argument that a teacher would use if you write it log base e. The reason I'm doing log base e is so you will be used to seeing both of them.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and that's the answer. Okay, and that's the last one. All right, now I'm going to take it to the next section, which is 7.3, I believe, or 5.3. This is chapter 7 in Math 110. I get them mixed up a lot, so you'll just have to bear with me. And it disappeared. Okay. 5 point, what did I say, 3? Okay. And this is equations. This is the other side of the coin as far as the 80%. 40% will be rewrites, 40% will be equations. Now you're going to have to use several rules here, and one of them is the definition of a logarithm. The other rules are the 3 rules that I told you about earlier. Okay, the rewriting rules: product rule, power rule, and quotient rule. Okay, here is one. I think we already started this one. I've seen this one before. Solve the equation, blah, 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 for t by converting it to a logarithmic form. All right, first of all, you can simplify this. Somebody look in your notes. I've seen this before.
I think we did this one.
Okay, well, 3,000 is equal to 150 times 10 to the 4t. Divide by 150. Divide by 150. And that's going to give you 300 divided by 15 is what? 20?
20.
10 to the 4t. Yeah, I think we've done a couple of these, but there's nothing wrong with going over it. Okay, so now I've got an exponential, and I cannot rewrite 20 in terms of 10. Okay, I cannot write it like 10 to the second power. That's 100. So you can't write 20. You could write it as a fraction. Yeah, you could do that, but we're not going to do that. Okay, but anyway, so I've got to rewrite it as a logarithm. Now our definition of a logarithm is y is equal to log base a of x, and that yields a to the y is equal to what? A to the y is equal to x. So I've got x is equal a to the y. So I'm going to rewrite that as log base what? Log base 10 of what?
T.
Is equal to what? Log base 10, I'm sorry, I'm getting it mixed up. Of 20 is equal to what? Is equal to 4t. and now you just take log base 20 of 4, and 4t is equal to, or t is equal to this divided by 4, and you take the log of 20 divided by 4. I don't remember it coming out like this. Log of 20 divided by 4. I hope I hadn't turned around the definition. I don't think I have. Yep. Don't remember doing it. And divide by 4. And 3, 2, 5, 6, whatever. 2, 6. That's a test question, so be prepared for it. How did you know to divide by 150? Well, you've got to have it in this form right here to actually put it in a logarithmic state. It's got to be a number equals a number to a variable or to an exponent. Prende? Settle down. S is equal to PERT. Okay, we've done this one. I know we've done this one. And that's where they basically, I'm just going to, that is the one I didn't agree with because they're changing variables in the middle of an equation, and I don't like that. And they're just saying S can be written as 2P, and I don't agree with that, so I would not put this one on the test. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead because we've already done it. Let's see, I want to get to the one. Change base formula, I know we were getting to this one. All right, this is where I think we left off in the last class. I think we left off with the change base formula. Change base formula says basically that if you have something besides these two, log base E, which is log. If you don't have these two guys, you're going to have to change it to something you can. And the way you do that is real simple. You take the log of 124 and you put it over the log. Log of 124 over the log of 8. And what is this? It's understood that this is log base what? Or you could change it to log base E of 124 over log base E of 8, which is equal to the natural log of 24, 124 over the natural log of 8. So if you did either one of those two right there, you get the same answer. Now, the change base formula, out of all the formulas and all the equations that you're learning in this section, the change base formula is the easiest one because once you do it one time, you know how to do it, okay? Because you take the log of the biggest number over the log of the base. Log of the biggest number over the log of the base. So it's real simple. You might get one of these on the test because it's pretty simple. And I'm not going to go into graphing. You can graph that. I'm not really worried about that. All the ones with graphing, you can graph that in a calculator. I'm not worried about that one. Okay, this is equal to, S is equal to 10,000 times 1.10 to the t power. Now again, you're in the first quadrant, so you're going to see a lot of these. And I've told you before, you're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see a lot of this. And you're going to see a lot of exponentials because a lot of exponentials and a lot of logarithms, where do they end up being? In the what quadrant? In the first quadrant. So that's why you're dealing with a lot of logarithms and a lot of exponents. So in this problem, the first thing you do is you set it equal to 49, blah, 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 blah. Of course, you've got the same problem that you had a while ago with the 15,000 or the 150,000 or whatever. I don't know what it was. 150 into 3,000 or whatever. That's the same type question. The first thing you do is divide by what? 10,000. So divide by 10,000 And now you've got whatever this is, divide 1, 2, 3. God, that was hard. 10,004. 4.595. I guarantee you somebody got a calculator out. 1.10 to the t power. Now what do you have there? You have the definition of a what? It's okay to say it. Of a log. So go ahead and whatever. Turn it into the logarithm. You've got x is equal to a to the y power. Oh, I got that fast there. H to the y. Huh? And that's going to be equal to log base what? Log base 1.10. Log base 1.10 of what? 4.595 is equal to t. 4.595 is equal to t. And now you use the change base formula. So somebody do the change base formula with their calculator and tell me what you get. Now, common sense, if $10,000 is invested for 2 years at 10% compounded in, blah, 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 in how many years will the investment grow to 45 to 46,000? Well, that's going to be a pretty good bit, okay? What did it come out to be?
16.
16. Let's see if you know what you're doing. It's a miracle. Now that's a test question. Actually, if you want to know the truth about it, logarithms are not hard. The reason logarithms are difficult is because people refuse to what? They refuse to learn the 5 or 6 properties that I told you was important. Just like accounting. People flunk accounting because they refuse to learn the terminology, the definitions, the vocabulary. Here's 2 examples right here of test questions. 4,096 is equal to 8 to the 2x power. That's the definition of a logarithm. So turn that one into a logarithm. So did anybody go see Creed 2? Anybody go see Possession of Hannah Grace? I'm gonna go see Possession of Hannah Grace Wednesday because my son is with his mom, so I'll see it. He didn't want to see Possession of Hannah Grace. We're gonna go see Creed tonight. Creed 2 tonight, probably.
I heard it was good. Making a lot of
money.
I didn't know if they could pull that off, coming back. You know, remaking.
Well, I think it's I'm a Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, and Rocky Balboa fan. 5 was stupid; it should be burned. But I really enjoyed Creed. I really liked that movie. I've seen it about 3 or 4 times. And I'll probably like this one because it has Drago in it. So,
Rockies, what got inspired? Doing.
you know, when he made Rocky, he had to sell his dog, and he was living in his car. And the dog,
Really?
Butkus, is on Rocky, Sylvester Stallone. He had to sell his dog. He sold his dog for like $100 and like bought it back for $1,000 after he sold the script. And he sold the script for $250,000 to Rocky, to Metro, you know, the Lion.
Yeah.
He sold that script with the contract that he had to play. You know who was supposed to play Rocky?
Who?
Burt Reynolds. A Florida Gator playing a Philadelphia Fighter. No, I don't think it would have worked.
No.
I'm sorry, Florida State. Florida State.
It worked out. Yeah, was that the same dog in the movie, Butkus?
Butkus, yeah. Hey, yo, Butkus! Maybe some of y'all can be enlightened one day and watch a Rocky movie. I know you probably haven't seen them because of your parent. That's okay. Good movie. All right. Log base 8, right? Log base 8 of what? 4096 is equal to what? 2x. Now what? Divide by 2. Well, what about all this over here, Hubert? Well, that's a number. You're still going to divide it by 2 because algebra, you divide it by 2. Here we go. So, log of 4096 divided by log 8 divided by 2. And somebody crank that out.
$1.806.
Well, let's see if you are correct. You could do something different wrong.
That ain't right. I got to divide more.
Huh?
I got 2. Yeah,
Okay.
that ain't right.
Okay. I thought something was wrong. You got 2? Okay. All right, now try this one. Now, if you get confused, always do this. Y is equal to log base A of what? X. And then yields X is equal to A to the what? Y. Always write it out. And then you can put whatever you got. Well, this one doesn't fit. What have I got to do before I start this one? Divide by what? 6. So 4 to the 3x minus 2 is equal to what? 20. So we take that over here, and 20 is equal to 4 to the what? 3x minus 2. Now plug and chug. 3x minus 2 is equal to log base what? Base 4 of what? 10. So let's go ahead and change this into a number because it'll freak some of y'all out if I do the other stuff. So minus 2 is equal to log of 20 over the log of 4. Somebody crank that out for me. What does that come out to be? What's the log of 20 over the log of 4? 2.16. Everybody get that? Now what do you have? A pre-algebra problem. And if you can't do that problem, then we need to talk after class. To finish it out, you're going to get 4.16 divided by 3. 4 divided by 3 is
1.38.
So it's going to be around 1.3 something.
1.39 or 1.386. Round.
There we go. You're right. 1.387. 2 more problems. Those are 2 more test questions. I told you this test is not going to be hard unless you're just non-sentient. Same type problem, divide by 4. I'm not going to do that one because, I'll show you the answer. Write it down. 4 log base 3 of x is equal to negative 8. Now there's a problem, that negative 8. I don't like that negative 8, but let's see, let's make sure you're not going to be taking the log of anything. So that's going to be, divided by 4, you're going to get negative 2. A to the y, okay, that'd be 3 to the negative 2 is equal to x. Okay. And 3 to the negative 2 is going to be what? 1 over 9? Yeah. So that's just like the question we just did. Just doesn't have a decimal. Question. Like y'all didn't ask any if you had one. Okay, this one is 6 plus 3 natural log of x is equal to 12. 6 plus 3 natural log of x is equal to 12. But before you start, you got to get this thing looking like an exponent. Right now it doesn't look like an exponent. What are you going to do with that plus 6? I'm sorry, what? Take it to the other side. And then we're going to get 3 natural log of x is equal to 12, but it's still not ready. Why isn't it ready?
Yeah, make 3 an exponent.
Exactly. Make the 3 an exponent. So, 6 plus 3 natural log of x is equal to 12. 3 natural log of x is equal to 6. And then natural log of x to the 6th power is equal to, I'm sorry, I'm just pulling numbers out of the air. 3 is equal to 6. And that's the same thing as natural log. And I can rewrite this. And see, this is where I told you I like to rewrite this. Log base e of x to the 3rd is equal to what? 6. Well, that looks like what we've been dealing with. Y is equal to log base e of x to the 3rd, doesn't it? That's x. Log base e, and that's a to the y is equal to x. A to the y is equal to x. What's my x? My x is x to the 3rd. Okay? What's my a? E. And what's my y? 6. So e to the 6th is equal to what?
Do you subtract 6 or divide by 6?
Subtract, because you're adding. This is a plus right here. Plus 6 plus 3, so minus 6. Okay, where was I?
It's on there.
I think I was e to the 6th is equal to x to the 3rd.
Cube. Yeah.
X cubed. Take the cube root of both sides. Cube root of e to the 6th power is equal to e squared. Now that's what I got. Oh, not that again. Oh, 3 natural log. Oh, we should have divided. No, I just saw that right now. See that 3 natural log? We don't need to use that. I took the wrong thing there. See this 3 right here? You need to divide that. Not use it as an exponent. Divide that 3. So the natural log of x is equal to 2. And now you need to solve that. And you can solve that by doing natural log. You can do that if you want to. Or log base e of x is equal to 2. A to the y plus y. Y is this right here, right? 2 is equal to what? X. And e to the second power is equal to x. Make sure I didn't mess it up. Raise e to the second power. 2.17 for the second power is going to be 5 point something. X is equal to e squared. They just left it as e squared. All right, try that one. Natural log of x. Natural log of x plus 3 equals natural log of x plus 4 in parentheses. Now, it's always a good idea to get the natural logs on one side, just like your x's. So chances are I would tell you to put the natural log of both sides, and you can distribute the natural log. You can do that also. So we could end up writing 2 natural logs in 1 natural log. Okay, that's one way to do it. You could also subtract 3, but that subtracting 3 is not going to do any good. So, and that's what they did. They didn't distribute, but natural log of x plus 4 minus natural log of x. So I'm going to go back and do that just to make sure they didn't distribute. Because now you've got 3 is equal to the natural log of x plus 4 and minus the natural log of x. Now what do we have? We have the same what? Same basis. So what can I rewrite the right side as? Okay, so far I heard something that sounds like a burp. I heard burp, and then I heard frog.
Wouldn't you have to distribute the natural log because it's...
Not necessarily, because you could, but that would just be more work. This is the same base, and this is the same base, so you could do what? What rule?
A quotient, divide them.
Quotient rule. You're going to divide. So rewrite this as 3 is equal to what? The natural log of what? X plus 4 over what? Over x. And now we've gotten it down to 3 is equal to log base e of x plus 4 over x. Hey, I've got y is equal to log base a of x. So I can rewrite that as e to the what? E to the third is equal to what? X plus 4 over what? Now multiply both sides by x. Oh, this is going to turn out right or not. So x e to the third is equal to x plus 4. Bring the x over to the other side. We're going to have to factor out. So x e to the third minus x is equal to what? 4. And now what do we got in common?
Base.
X, factor it out, e to the third minus what? 1 is equal to 4. And x is equal to 4 divided by e to the what? Third minus 1. Now what is e to the third? That's a number. So now you got to get your calculator out and find out what e to the third is and reduce it. So what is e to the third? That's going to be 2.1 to the third power, which is going to be 2 to the third, is going to be around 9. So 4 minus 8, 4 divided by 8, oh my gosh, it's close to half. It's going to be around 0.5. X is equal to around 0.5. Somebody tell me what you end up with.
Yep, this is 0.421.
0.4 what? I'm sorry, broke up.
0.42.
Okay, so it's around 0.42. So X is equal to 0.42. I only heard 2 decimal places, so it's more. Remember, I put a dot here and a squiggly line, so that means I did it in my head, you know, using the brain, dang old critical thinking, common sense. Mom backwards. Oh my gosh, look there, they got e to the third. It's a miracle, but they got 0.21. Okay, let me do it on the handy dandy calculator. Let's see what out of this. Let me get my handy dandy calculator and pull it out. Make sure y'all know how to use a calculator. What was the actual question now? Somebody tell me what it was.
For the board.
Okay, so I'm going to put parentheses 4 divided by parentheses what?
I think it was 9.26.
No, I want the whole thing. I'm going to put it in the calculator. Was it E?
E. Yeah, E cubed.
Now I have to look because, okay, there it is. Second, I can hardly see on this calculator. E to the third.
Yep.
Was it -1 or +1?
Minus.
Minus 1. Close parentheses, and that's equal to 0.21. So write that down as 0.21. Somebody led me down the wrong path. Somebody set me up for the wrong answer. I appreciate that. You're not going to live up to it, are you? You're just going to stay in silence? I don't understand why this class hates me. I don't know what I do to it. It keeps me up at night. So why I got, oh, look over there, y'all. Racer's not even working. I'm going to get training one day. Okay, let's just write this down as 0.2. I'll just mark this out. 0.21. 0.21 should be your answer. What's 2.1 raised to the third power? 2.1, caret symbol 3. What does it come out to be?
9.261.
Okay, then why? And 9.26 divided by 8, -1 is 8. Why is it coming out to be 4 over 8 is equal to 0.21? 4 over 8 is 1/2, is it not? Huh. Okay. I'll take their word for it. Okay, that's just another, I'm not going to worry about that one right now because of global warming, and I don't believe in global warming. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. That's a plug and chug. I'm not worried about plug and chugs right now. Most of y'all can do plug and chug, and I'm not worried about that. Same thing here. I'm not going to worry about that. You do the logarithm. Actually, the problems that I'm going to test you on, I haven't seen very many except these last 3 or 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into your homework and find some. Now, I've looked over the syllabus, and I've done basically 5.1 to 5.3. I think I'm going to cover 5.4 Wednesday or whatever day you meet next. And that'll leave us Monday or Tuesday. No, Thursday is the last day in here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I probably won't get into Unit 4. So just disregard anything having to do with Unit 4. All right, so let me go down here and go to assignments. And go to, what is it, 5 point what? Where's 5 point?
You haven't put them up.
I thought I'd... Oh, me.
I think we should just quit now. Go.
Let's just quit.
And go home.
I went through and changed all the dates, but I didn't assign 5 point. Let me go ahead and fix that now.
Just 3 right there. We just ate it on the way. She got so mad at us the other day because Lexi saw it and me and
What are they talking about? What are y'all talking about?
What?
What? Huh? Y'all trip me out how I asked y'all about something, y'all act like y'all don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Huh? Huh? You act like my 12-year-old. He's doing something and he goes, huh? What? Oh God, that irritates the crap out of me. All right, that's that. So whoever the class is, that's Oconee. Oconee, you are up to date with your homework. Let's go to next class will be easily. Okay, that is so annoying. I'm muting them. That's very annoying. I mean, there's such thing as whispering, but when I have to mute you, you're too loud. All right. I'll unmute you, and you can unmute yourself when I start teaching again. Okay, 5. I don't know how far we're going to get in 5, so I'm just assigning all of them. Is this the time for you to go ahead of me? No, because I might omit what you've already done. So this is not the time to go. I don't know why people do that anyway, but each their own. So that's done for Oconee. I mean for Easley. Now let's go to Anderson and open those up. 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I doubt very seriously we're going to get to 7. But I'm going to go ahead and open them. The best thing to do is when you're at the end of this semester is do what I do. If I do 5.4, then that's what you need to do. Do not go ahead of me. And the last one. 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4, 5.5, 5.6, and 5.7. Okay, now everybody should be able to pull up their homework. All right, so let's go back and pull up the assignments. And now I can hit what do we do, 5.3? And I'll go through and I'll look at the questions and I'll tell you if of course, that's a test question. I'm going to pull some. That's a test question. That's a test question. That's a test question. We already covered that. That's a test question, but that's just a change-based formula. So that may be one test question. Come on, get to the more complicated ones. Okay, there we go. All right, let's try this one. All right, you can unmute yourself now easily. One extreme to the other. All right, so then we've got 2 log of x. 2 log of x equals log of 6x minus 90 plus 1. Now, what's the first thing you should do? Get everything on the left-hand side. Get all your logs on whichever side, since the 1 is over there. So I'm going to take this one over here, and I'm going to have 2 log of x minus log of 6x minus 90. All right, now work with it. You're going to have to rely on your rules, though. You're going to have to rewrite it. And this is the time where you use your power rule, and then you use your quotient rule. So, what does that come out to be? Log of x to the what power? Log of x to the second power minus log of 6x minus 90 is equal to 1. And since we have subtraction here, and we have the same what? Same base, you can write that as x squared over what? Log of x squared over 6x minus 90 is equal to 1. Now you have the definition of logarithm. So we'll take this over here. And take this over here. And take this over here. And what do we got? Well, we got y is equal to log base a of x, and that's going to yield a to the y is equal to x. So we've got 1 is equal to log base 10 of all that mumbo jumbo, 6x minus 90. Okay? So 10 to the what? 10 to the first power is equal to x squared over 6x minus 90. And now you've got a basic algebra problem. How do you get rid of a fraction? How do you get rid of the denominator? Multiply through by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply through by 6x minus 90. 6x minus 90. So x squared is equal to 10 times 6x minus 90. Okay, now you should be able to finish it. If you can't, just consider yourself a disappointment. Oh my gosh, this might actually be a quadratic. That means you have to use complete the square. I should have just bypassed all that so you could use and depend on your calculator. What is 10 times 6x? 60x minus what? 900 is equal to x squared. And let's go ahead and make that small. Wow, it actually did the whole thing. Oh, no it didn't. Huh. And that's going to give us 0 is equal to x squared minus 60x plus what? 900. And I think you could probably use shortcut number what? Number 2? Because the square root of x squared is x. The square root of 900 is what? 30. 2 times 30 is 60. So you could use your shortcut. X minus what? 30. Quantity squared. And your answer is what? 30?
30.
Now, 60 to 70% of that problem is what? Algebra. 20 to 30, maybe 40% of it is logarithm. Now you see why students that suck at algebra suck at calculus, because they refuse to remember and learn logarithms, and then they suck at algebra to begin with. So what's naturally going to happen in calculus? They're going to suck at calculus. I'm sorry if you need a puppy or a pillow. I'm sorry, but that's what happens. Maybe we should just make calculus easier.
Amen.
Lower the bar. All right, try that one. Log base 2 of x plus log base 2 of 4 is equal to 1. A little bit different. Log base 2 of x plus log base 2 of 4 is equal to 1. You have the same bases. So, what can we do?
Product.
Product rule. Good. So, log base 2 of x times what? 4 is equal to 1. Log base 2 of 4x is equal to 1. Definition of a logarithm. 2 to the what? 2 to the first is equal to 4x. Remind me not to put this on the test. This one's too easy.
Put this one on the test.
No. I got 1/2. That one should not get wrong. But if you start to see what we're doing, then that's a good thing, because you've got to manipulate these things when you're in calculus. It wasn't that funny unless you're talking about something that doesn't have anything to do with class. What is it, Easley? I mean,
We're still working on it.
I believe they're drunk. All right. I think that's enough for today. Work on 5.1 through 5.3 homework. Get ready to go into 5.4 and 5.5 when y'all come in, okay?
All right, see ya.
Y'all get out of here and have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
You're driving. Okay.